What is up, you guys? Matt McKeever here, and so MLS Mondays are back. This one we're shooting live because obviously it's not Monday. We fell a little bit behind the 8 ball in this one.
Wait.
Actually, I think I put in my video description that it was Wednesday, but it's actually a Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah.
I easily forget what day it is.
But it's definitely not Monday.
It's definitely not Monday. I did know that much because Monday was a holiday. That's why no one's returned my calls on Monday. So I'm just going to jump in, check out myself live on YouTube because Adam's trying to figure out how to Instagram live, but no one taught him how to use the internet apparently.
I don't know how to work cameras because Matt doesn't have tripods because he gave it out. But we're trying to look at MLS shit, so I'm just gonna hold this actually.
POV.
Yeah, you get the point of view. You
Get out of this.
First on Matt.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, man?
So I'm just going to try and pull this up so I can see you guys' comments. Then we'll get back to business.
Oh God.
But so if you guys remember, MLS Mondays was a thing for quite a while. We were doing it consistently. Then we got scared off by some haters, and now just decided I don't really give a fuck about the haters, so we're back. Also, just hit like 12,000 subs recently on YouTube. That was amazing. Thank you to all of you that subscribed, that smashed the like button, and that shared on social media, because sharing is caring. It's the only way I get viewers. But you guys, ooh, that camera's not really centered, is it? Let's get a bit more like that. We'll call that close enough. And let's do this. So, Adam Martin, we're going to check out some deals.
What are we looking at?
Don't show this on camera though, because last time they tried to shut us down for it. So let's see, what's a property that looks interesting? 35 Stanley. I like the sounds of that.
35 Stanley.
So it was 5 to 8 units. Oh, what the fuck? It's got no sales price on it.
35. Wait, are you saying I can't pull it up on camera?
No, you can pull it. You just can't show this piece of paper.
Oh, whatever. That's fine. 35 Stanley.
But I don't have a sales price, so that kind of defeats the purpose. That was a weird one.
It looks like shit anyways, because Google didn't update their photos.
Let's see what else. So normally we're going to be way more organized. 165 Thurman. That's interesting to me because I own a property on that street. So 165 Thurman. Let's pull it up. Again, this is just a live one, so this is just kind of fast and dirty. Appreciate you watching, Andre. But in the future, what we'll have is I'll actually share my screen with you guys. We'll start doing it next week consistently. Every Monday I'll get the video out. But for now, we just thought, hey, rather than waiting until next week to start, why not take action right now, jump on live with my cell phone, and just chat through the property with you guys.
Oh, this.
So what's 165 Thurman look like?
You're gonna laugh when you pull up the photo.
Okay. Actually, that's really close to where I own, isn't it?
Somebody's been maintaining the lawn very well. Maybe look into that.
Oh shit, okay. I didn't realize it was that close.
Hey, Ramsey, so yeah, right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at some deals that have recently sold. So this is all sales from last week in London, Ontario.
So for you guys, this is the property there. It's this guy right there. Again, future versions, I'll share my screen with you, but we're not that prepared today. So this property was listed 165. And so Thurman Circle was listed as a 6-bid, 2-bath, listed for $399,900. So $399,900. It was listed on the market July 19th. It sold August 1st. So days on the market was only 13 days. You know, $399,900 in this area, honestly, like 6 weeks ago, or 7, 8 weeks ago, I would consider that to be quite a deal of a price, because everything was kind of in the low fours. The reason I'm so familiar with it is I own 2 properties on the street. Both of them were listed in the low fours. We weren't really getting any buyers. Actually, that's really interesting because I knew the owner of this property. He was like, pretty sure I guess that's not his car, but he drives a black car that he actually lived in the property. I don't know if he did for the last year, but he definitely did back in the day. But anyways, that property sold for, any guesses? Above, below, ask?
I don't know, like for last week, I hope it would have sold above that.
I would have too. We'd both be wrong though. It sold for $382.
382.
So it sold $382.5. So sold about called that 16,500 under ask. So that's interesting to see. Moving on, we got
Well, like just really quick for everybody who's going to be looking at on my live stream right now, like the reason that's so significant right there is Fanshawe College is like a 2-minute walk. So for anybody who's not from London, you can get to Fanshawe College like supremely fast, and most of those are large 5-bedroom, at least 2-bath, like back splits right on that street, or at least very similar houses to that. And interesting insight on this particular property as to why it might have sold for slightly under ask is because over the last 3-4 weeks that property's just gone to shit, and it's just been,
really?
it's been poorly maintained for the last few weeks.
interesting, good to know. Appreciate the 7 of you that are watching, the 3 of you that smashed that like button. Definitely appreciate it, guys.
Where are we going next?
Let's check out 108 High Street. And so this was listed for $299 on July 19th as well. It looks like a single family home, I believe. 108 High Street. Come on.
So that's a really weird area. This is outside of most of my natural territory. So if you look over here, like Western University's over here. So this is an area that I'm typically looking at. And then Fanshawe would be up high, somewhere.
So this is the property, guys, in case you're not
Over here
Googling along
somewhere.
with us. 108 High Street. And again, it was listed for, what did I say? We'll be totally more organized the next time, guys. We just thought, why not do it once? You guys can give us our feedback on how you think we should proceed in the future. I should have marked it. I need to get a pen.
Yeah, so like, I don't know though, this is a strange area for
So,
me, Matt. I
well-
don't know if you have thoughts.
So like, if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's really close to Wortley Village, right? Which is actually a high demand. Is that a deal?
Deals. Do we want to do a
Yeah,
live
do
deal?
a live deal.
Oh, we're going live. Good afternoon, Adam Martin here. Good, how are you? Yeah, for sure. I pulled it up real quick and just had a chance to give it a quick look over, but I'd love to get some more details on that. Yeah, so a bit of both actually. So between my partners and I, there's about 80 units in London. And we are typically looking for like a buy and hold, or what we know as a BRRRR strategy, which you buy, refinance it, and then you basically repeat that after some renovations. So that's what allows us to get some velocity going there. Hey! Hey, absolutely. I'd love to have a beer with you and go over that a bit. But yeah, I had a chance to pull it up on the city's site and everything, and it looks like it's got rental licenses. Yeah, that's great. How long have you owned that property? Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you walk me through the building a little bit, and I can at least get a good idea of what we're looking at. Okay, how many bed and bath is the first unit? Yep. Okay. And then what are the rents in the 2+2?
Do you want to quickly, he's on the phone over also at YouTube Live. Oh, you're
Yeah.
I assume so.
Okay,
Let me check
what's
my
the,
computer.
how's the roof look?
What's up, YouTube? What's going on? Oh,
Yeah,
Jeff's in
I
here.
noticed that from the Google. It's
We're in the
interesting.
Weibo Lounge, hanging out. And we buy houses. What's up, Mike? How's it
Okay.
going? If you guys are interested, I'm gonna be going live on Twitch in the next like half hour here.
Showing how he edits his
Yeah.
videos.
You get to see editing.
That's what you good? Yeah.
Awesome. I
Okay.
got it. I'll see you guys on Twitch.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, see ya.
Yeah, that kind of got killed with the PC. Got ya. Cool. In terms of the tenants, how long have they lived there? Okay. 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 And what would you say like the cosmetic condition is of the building? Has it been updated? Like how's the flooring, kitchen, bathrooms? Okay. And what kind of wiring is in the building? Okay. Excellent. Yeah, no, that gives me a great idea. I'm definitely interested. Have you guys had a chance to think about what price you'd be considering for that deal? Yeah. Yeah. What did you guys pay for it? Okay, no problem. Yeah. Yeah, what did that look like? Was it a duplex as well? Oh, okay. So is that kind of the range that you guys are hoping for? Like, I'm just trying to get a general feel of where you at for price. Okay. Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely look further into that. But yeah, I'd be very interested in meeting with you. At the very least, we can talk a bit more about the property and hopefully at some point get a walk through the property. It'd be good to see what I'm looking at in terms of a renovation budget. Okay. Oh, so it was on like oh, okay, I see what happened. So you had separate titles and they wanted you to merge? Okay. Alright. So are you in the little brick there or the white one beside it? Okay, awesome. Yeah, do you want to let's set up a coffee or something. Are you free tomorrow? Okay, perfect. Wednesday? Okay, perfect. Just so that I can kind of plan my week out a bit. It does it look more like mornings or afternoons? Or evenings? Sounds good. So do you want to say just tentatively, I'll throw it in my calendar now for 2 or 3 p.m.? Perfect. Awesome, thanks. And I didn't actually catch your name. Jake, nice talking with you. Yeah, about that. Plus or minus a few. At any given time. Well, the main group is basically just 2 of us. But we included another couple when we're having fun. But, sorry? Yeah, we're having fun with it. It's always fun adding more. It's always a good activity. But yeah, I'll keep in touch with you, and hopefully I'll see you Wednesday there at 3. I'll throw that in my calendar and come check it out. I can teach you more about that burst strategy so you can repeat for more properties yourself. Awesome. Alrighty, Jake. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.
Deals.
So I've been after that guy for a few days, just trying to get him on the phone. So I've sent him like, I don't know, 3-4 text messages, called and left 2 voicemails. He finally got back, and now I've got an appointment, so that's the first step. It's a legal duplex in like the West End. It's a legal duplex in the West End. Sorry guys.
I got 1, camera 2.
We've got, yeah, I need somebody directing this right now. Yeah, like I've been trying to get a hold of this guy quite a bit. So now we've got an appointment. Next steps, like I gotta figure out what he paid for it, because that's something I don't know right now, which is just brutal. I should have already known that going into the call, just to leverage that a bit more.
And don't say the address, but is this in London or where?
Yeah, it's in the West End of London.
Gotcha.
So it's going to be relevant for like potentially a student rental. It's slightly too far, but
Is this one of the 2 we were already talking about, or no?
No.
Different. Okay, cool.
different. So yeah, I guess like the real potential for this building, just like I showed you guys the basic picture here on Google Maps. It's a cute neighborhood, high value properties. It's right near a nice park. So there's really good potential for either Airbnb in that area because it's a duplex, or just long-term renters that are going to be of a pretty high quality being in that side of town. So that's really exciting. I've got a suspicion that he's going to want a rather high price just based on what he was talking about there. But on the plus side, it's legally rented. I had a chance to go on London's website and check out the rental license. There's never been any complaints or anything. I've got a good idea of what things go for in that area. So next steps, check out the building, check out the condition. It's got a flat roof, which kind of is interesting for me. I usually don't love that just because a shingle's nice. You can look at it and kind of estimate how fast you're going to need to act on a new roof. But at least we'll get an idea of what else to see. I got an idea now of how big it is because it's a 2+2 main unit for $1,420, a 1+1, just a 1-in-1 unit 2 for $650. So gross rents there are $2,070. So I don't know because that area sells in the 4s. So ideally, to meet the 1% rule, we want to see $270,000 purchase price or less. And so, but that side of town just sells higher. So, but yeah, other than that, the building has fuses. It's got new bathrooms, but needs kitchen updates. So there's definitely room there for a burst strategy. And then the current owner lives very close near it. So I don't know. I'm going to follow up with this guy, see what else he can tell me. The fact that he's got 2 houses side by side and he managed to keep them off the same title is tells me that this is a guy I need to learn more about and just kind of talk with him, see where he's at, see where his prices are at. And at the very least, he wants to have a beer with me and learn more about the burst strategy so we could potentially convert him for other business as well. So
yeah, so that was a live sales call. That was not planned. That just kind of happened that way. I guess we'll get back to MLS Monday.
Let's get back.
Okay. So we're talking about 108 High Street, guys. In case you were curious, it was listed for $299 on July 19th, and it was that I showed it to you earlier on screen. nothing too flashy with it, just like a nice looking house there. So it sold within 8 days of being on the MLS. So right now the market feels kind of choppy, and that's partly why we're bringing back MLS Mondays, is because we need to step up our game even more. We need to have our fingers on the pulse even to a higher degree than what we've been doing. And so this property actually, one of the few properties on my list that sold for over ask. So it actually sold for $315, and it essentially was a 4-bid, 2-bath is what they were pitching it as. And yeah, 7 days on market. And so if you guys are curious, the property that sold for the most over ask in the last week, that distinction goes to, I need a ruler. This is a small print.
Internet is just killing it.
Yeah. So 89 Laurentian Drive. Can you find that on a map, Adam? I don't even know where it is. Yeah. 89 Laurentian. It sold for 17% over ask. It was listed for $239 and sold for $281. So that's kind of interesting. Whether they were kind of knew what they were doing and simply trying to get a multiple bidding war, or whether this is an area that's seeing some real growth in pricing, will be interesting to learn. It looks like it's in North London, maybe?
It's in Northeast.
Okay. So, no. 89 Laurentian Drive? I have it in the Southeast. Like by Hamilton, I heard.
Depends on how you look at it.
Depends on how you read the map.
Depends on how you read it.
So if you guys are curious, that's the property we're talking about. That's where it's located.
What did this sell for?
It sold for $281, asking $240.
That's aggressive.
It looks like just your typical bungalow, right?
Yeah.
This does not look like a really sexy property to me. I don't see a lot of reason. You can see it's just that generic looking brown guy right there.
It's an old photo too, but
Yeah.
could have been updated.
Yeah, I guess that's the 2014 Street View.
Yeah. So the reason I jumped to like, okay, that's pretty high is because like you're not so far off of like Hamilton, Highbury area, Trafalgar.
Yeah, it's not an area I naturally think of as going for multiple offers. However, that being said, you know, to buy a single family home in the city for $240 is pretty rare these days.
Yeah.
So that might just attract a lot of first time buyers. Maybe they missed out on a few other purchasing opportunities and that drove up the purchase price. Definitely interesting though. I don't think that that's an area we've really paid a lot of attention to. It's really close to the Sons of Greece Motorcycle Club.
Yep.
Don't know if that's a good or a bad thing,
I don't know about that.
but at least it wasn't Sons of Anarchy, right?
Yeah. Never watched that, by the way.
Oh no, really? I would have assumed that would be right up your alley.
No, didn't watch it. Too busy driving motorcycles and crashing them.
True story.
There's a video.
Okay, so that was that. One property I found kind of interesting that I want to talk about, just because I pay attention to the area a fair bit. That was, where are you? Oh, actually, let's look at this one first. 33 Mark Street. You know where that is? That's that area that we've been trying to target as well.
Ooh.
So it was listed for $270.
What?
What did you guys tell you it sold for?
Let me just.
So Mark Street, guys, if you're not familiar, that's going to be close to Fanshawe College. There's been a few different builders.
Oh, Mark's a weird street.
It's a very interesting street.
Yeah.
So this is 33 Mark Street. Again, future videos we'll do video screen sharing, but for now, gives you the idea.
Yeah.
And so this property again listed for $270, sold for 13% over asking at $305.
Wow.
And so I'm very curious whether that was the end user buyer, or we've been seeing a lot of people buying in this area and they're doing renovations on the back of it. So like where they're adding an addition or they're really fixing it up and then flipping it for even more. Potentially because of where Mark Street is, it could be a single family house, it could be converted into something with a granny suite, or they might go straight up student rental with it. So there's a bunch of different strategies that investors can use in this area. And there's not necessarily a consistent approach. I think it's kind of investor by investor and property by property based on my experience.
Yeah, and like that's something I looked at too with the Paardeberg deal. So we're closing on Paardeberg at the end of the month, Miranda and I. And the interesting thing about Paardeberg was that it really does have a bunch of.
Sorry, that was just a comment from the crowd.
It's got a bunch of potential because like you could easily do it like a walkout, basically duplex it, and have two families in there, or like a bachelor in the basement and a family upstairs. Or it's a great candidate. We've already got students lined up, so we're going to do student rental with it, which is great because we bought it for $240, and we've got all of our tenants lined up for gross rents to be $23.75. So it's not quite the 1% rule, but we had exceptional terms on the deal, so we got a heavy VTP on it.
This is crazy. I don't know how I missed this one before, guys, but 505 Salisbury Street, semi-detached, 5-bed, 2-bath, asking $210, listed on the market July 24th, sold July 30th. You ain't gonna guess what this sold for. It went into multiples. It went into a lot of multiples.
Really?
Yeah,
For development or something?
I doubt it.
Because what's this beside it?
Salisbury. Salisbury. Let me see. Oh, maybe it was then.
I feel like that's a development
I don't
opportunity
know.
if you're.
It's not a huge lot, but this is. But because they're only buying one side of it, right? So unless they own the other side already, that's the guy there. This is the property we're talking about. That guy. This one right there.
What is that? Oh, is that
But listen to this. Listed for 209.9,
okay?
sold 280.
Whoa.
So I'm assuming Adam Martin's going to be contacting all the neighbors
Yeah.
and finding out if any of them are interested in selling.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like a major opportunity.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. That's
insane.
so out of place.
100 or 33% over ask in this market. That's extremely rare. I don't even know what would have driven that.
Doesn't happen.
Shout out to Paul Plumstead though, who owns a property just down the street from
Nice. Good call.
there. And I think Kevin Miller just bought one on Quebec, not far from there, and Dylan also bought a sixplex on Quebec, not far from there. So
Nice.
maybe that's just a trend of the area. People want to live really close to the superstore.
Yeah. Well, it could also be like I'm telling you, it's got to be development or something weird.
But the only thing is, if you're paying just for half of that building, you're going to be 500,000 plus into the lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a lot.
I don't know then. It's really weird. Maybe it's something like mine. I thought about this after. I was like, damn it, I created a terrible comp for myself.
Yeah.
Because like the BTV, I pushed the price up. So like
Yeah.
on paper, it's sold for way more than it should have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can't believe that, guys. 280 for that property is crazy.
well, that's insane considering like not too far from there, like Appel Street.
Makes you feel good about what you paid for your.
Makes me feel
semi.
good, but like Appel Street was a full single family house for 170,
Yeah.
right? Well, like 180 real cost, but
Mhm.
like
But compare this
that's a
280
freaking deal.
to the 175 you have on Hamilton that's turnkey ready.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
that's actually.
So we got a freaking deal right now in our inventory that's 175 for a turnkey 3-bed 1-bath. And it's beautiful. It's got nice stained glass and stuff. It's tiled and hardwood. Like it's got a good thing going for it for any young family or you could potentially Airbnb, but it's in the wrong spot for that. But you
Yeah.
can at least
It would be the only Airbnb, so that might be your competitive advantage. But yeah, it's not necessarily a high demand Airbnb location.
But I mean, this thing, I can tell you right now, it's nowhere near the quality. It's got a better location, but it's nowhere near the quality of that Hamilton deal for 175.
Yeah, I can't get over that. That's crazy to me. What else do we got, guys? What do you guys think of? Oh, Vancouver Street. I haven't looked over the. Jesus, Vancouver Street, 216 Vancouver Street. This better be a fully, it's a detached at least.
216 Vancouver. Boom. Checking out deals.
So this is in the East End, guys. It's an area that, honestly, I didn't give a lot of respect to this area until the last 6 months. I don't know what's been going on. I think that there's a few different communities that have focused on buying properties in this area, and so it's really driven up the prices that are being asked and getting into multiple bidding wars. Because again, this property, 240 ask price, sold for 270. That's 13% over ask. It was sold on the same day it was listed.
What?
So that seems pretty crazy.
So this thing here, we're talking about the same building, right? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I didn't show it to them.
You need to see this. It's just garb.
Actually, Jeff, do you remember we went and looked at a property on Vancouver Street? That was the one. If it wasn't Vancouver, it was one of the other Canadian city streets, but might have been Saskatoon or Calgary or Edmonton. But it was owned by Co-op. They'd been converted into a duplex. It was not a legal duplex, but similar looking building, not on a corner lot. And like at the time, I think we were looking at 200, and we thought that was too much.
That's crazy.
So
I
that's
was walking
very
down the
interesting.
street and it's all just wartime. Like
Yeah, they're all.
this is
that's what it is.
classic East London. Like
Yeah, you're close to the French immersion school. I don't know if that's really driving it up these days. But yeah, that's
well, I'm
actually
sure
really
it was that
interesting.
purchase price.
Right? But look at what we're learning just by putting in a little bit of effort.
Yeah.
So let's see, what was the one that sold for the least percentage of ask? Let's check that guy
Yeah,
out
let's
too.
see that.
Because not everything's selling over ask, guys. There's definitely weakness in this market too. So it looks like this one's going to be pretty high. This is not one we necessarily deal with a lot, but 32 Chesterfield Ave.
Oh, we know that.
Do we?
We do. We haven't walked through it, but I've seen it.
The giant mansion.
I've seen it.
You might be thinking of
Seen this
Chesterfield.
on MLS.
Oh yeah. So any guesses? They were asking 1,095,000. So essentially 1.1 million. Listed July 18th, sold July 31st. So it was only on the market for 13 days. So we're not talking about anything crazy there.
This photo's absurd.
So it sold for 946,000. So 86% of ask. 13 days on the market. So that's kind of interesting.
Google hasn't updated it. It just looks garbage.
Yeah, it looks like a real.
You get,
But you can see you're kind of backing onto the river trail.
yeah.
You're in the. I don't know. Actually, is that really that nice of an area? $1 million house there.
It doesn't even have good property
There's
because
something
there's more houses right there.
That's where we're talking, guys. What's your opinion of the property currently on the MLS? Pull it up, Adam. 79 McNay Street. Spencer wants to know. I like McNay in general. Actually, McNay is going to be not very far from the property on Salisbury we're just talking about that sold 280 for a 70. So inherently, I'm going to guess that this one at McNay looks as good or better, but that's
Give
fine.
us a sec here. We got 79 McNay. Oh shit.
I wonder if it's the one I'm thinking of. Is it, if it's a boxy building? I don't know. Yeah, okay, so this property is always for sale on the MLS.
How did you get that so fast? His computer does magical things like
Has windows.
stick to your face. Right? On the Canadian named streets with bigger frontages, people are looking into severances.
Oh, is that the play? Okay,
So it sounds like Cloud was talking about that at OREC.
cool.
Maybe we should buy our OREC course and
There you go.
rewatch that
Rewatch
footage. Shameless plug, you guys.
McNay.
Shameless. Okay, 79 McNay.
What are they asking for it though?
279. It's a 2
Okay,
plus
yeah.
2 duplex with a 2 bath.
So this thing's been on the market for forever. It's either on or off on a regular basis. Don't think I've ever actually walked through it. I think we were going to walk through it once and then they pulled the listing right before. So the initial thing I noticed right away, if you guys aren't familiar, this is the property we're talking about right there. Hopefully you don't mind us sharing it, Spencer. So the first thing I notice is the MLS number starts with an X. And so if you guys are deep divers on my YouTube channel, you're familiar with this, that an X means that realtor is not from the London board. So they're not a member of L-Star. So that means it's out-of-town realtor. Usually that's a good sign right off the bat for me.
905 number 2, so you can tell right away.
Yeah, so it's a Toronto realtor. presumably an out-of-town seller or a seller whose relative is a realtor that lives out of town. So again, out-of-town realtor often means there's a chance for information asymmetry, so it naturally piques my interest. Beyond that, you know, this is going to be me kind of theorizing a bunch because I don't think I've walked through this, or if I have, it's so long ago that I've literally forgotten it. So I can see they're really pitching it as being something for student fan shop, students at fan shop. Okay, listen to this description, Adam.
I just showed
So,
my live
guys,
stream.
I'm just checking out this description.
Whew.
Location at its best. That is patently false. Investors in handyman's dream. It's got $2,075 in rental income. Live here and have your, he didn't spell it right, but live here and have your mortgage paid by rent. Geez, learn to spell. Freehold duplex in the most demand location of London. That's a lie. Main floor is a 2-bid with 1 washroom. It pays $1,200, and the upper floor is a 2-bid, 1 washroom, pays $875. Both have their own entrance and laundry. Man, this guy loves his acronyms and shorthand.
Yeah.
Both tenants willing to stay close to Fanshawe College, Western University, and all amenities. So one thing immediately, there's no such thing as a property that's close to Fanshawe and Western. It's just that's not a
Well,
thing.
it's the east and west end of the city. Like you're just not
Yeah.
having that happen.
Yeah. So
And try and drive down Oxford. I dare you. And tell me that
especially
it's
with
close.
Adelaide under construction.
Well,
these
and
days.
Oxford.
Well, yeah, Adelaide and Oxford's under construction.
And
yeah.
Hamilton. There's just no way to cross the city
Yeah.
right now. Like.
But so, first of all, if you're not a local Londoner, I don't think that this is a location at its best. That being said, I don't think it's a terrible location either, but definitely for a lot of London-born individuals, Booley Street, which is very close to McNay, has a huge stigma. We're seeing, you know, out-of-town buyers buying on Booley and fixing it up, so that stigma's definitely disappearing, but it's not disappearing at a rapid rate. You know, I don't think it's a bad rental property at first blush. It's not giving the 1% rule. I don't see a significant draw to increase its rent potential overnight. So, unlike, say, the old East Village or Soho, where you might be able to see some appreciation plays because as the area gentrifies, it's going to force everything up in that market, we're not seeing that in this exact location. That's not to say this is a war zone or anything. I'm just saying I don't see any real factors that are going to force it to appreciate. Now that being said, it's not necessarily that far from where Phil Wybo has his one Airbnb,
Yeah.
and he has a very successful Airbnb that's a 4-bed, either 1 bath or 2 bath, and so maybe there's potential to switch this into some sort of Airbnb, and from that you can kind of boost your rents and get the return you want. At first blush, I don't think this is the best potential investment property in this price range.
Well, and just to comment, like, if you pull this up on Google 79 McNay and just zoom in a bit, like my Parterberg deal is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 blocks closer to Fanshawe. I pay $240 for it. It's easily duplexable, and my gross rents are going to be $23.75.
Yeah.
So like right away, save 30, grab 300 more.
Well, and the big factor there, the reason Adam's getting more for rent than this property is, if a property is going to be a student rental play, you're depending on the bedrooms.
Yeah.
And so your student rental play's got 5 bedrooms, where this property has, was it either 2 and 2 or 2 and 1. So naturally that's going to limit your ability to maximize your return on it. So yeah, I don't know. That's our random opinions on McNay. Hopefully that gave you some perspective, Spencer. Hopefully we didn't destroy your dreams if you're looking to buy it, and if it's your listing, hopefully we didn't destroy the ability of you to sell it.
Well, it's got good parking, I guess, is a good plus.
Yeah, like it's
Just
just
need more beds. That's the problem.
yeah,
We need more beds.
yeah, and so obviously, I think I knew this place when it was also a garage store, but it used to be a commercial space. You can tell obviously by the build of the building. I'd have to pull it up on satellite view in order to see, but like I think it might be a flat roof. Yeah, it looks like it's a flat
It
roof.
is flat.
So, you know, the back of it maybe isn't a flat roof, but definitely the front is a flat roof. So there's certain additional costs with that. Now it looks like it maybe has a garage in the back, so maybe there's a little bit of potential to add some additional rent through renting out the garage. It's not a massive lot, however. If you check out this neighborhood in general, you'll find the lots are extremely inconsistent. Some are quite large, some are small. I really can't stop thinking now, I didn't realize people are severing lots on Vancouver.
Yeah, I didn't realize they did it, but again, cloud is the
Yeah,
guy to know.
no, for sure.
John just says if this isn't a segment we do regularly, we need to be, so
Thank you, John.
let's do that. Sorry, Matt's YouTube. I've been looking over here. There's comments flying off.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think that, I don't know how long we've been rambling on, but I'm sure that the 11 viewers right now and the 8 that actually hit the like button
Nice.
have other things to do. So we're gonna wrap it up, but this will become a recurring feature. It will be more polished in the future, so you guys can look forward to that. We'll share our screens, that way you can kind of check it out. Yeah, and until next time, remember, you can buy our wholesaling or our blueprint to wholesaling. So that's a thing. If you want to start finding private opportunities like out in Martin, if you want to start doing that stuff, check it out. There's not a link in this video description, but if you check out my other videos, you'll find it there. I'll probably eventually add it to this video too. Probably not, I'll forget. But I'd like to at least think I have the intentions of doing it. And until next time, remember, making money's a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it. But if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point? Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right, guys. Now you're gonna send it now, unless we can take one more.